10th Standard History Unit 8 Era of Gandhi and National Movement. Dear students, you have already seen the video of social science textbook questions with the answers. If you want to see them again, click on the I button here. This video consists of important extra questions other than textbook questions. Let's begin. Answer the following questions. First question. Explain the early life of Gandhiji. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, who is popularly called Bapu, was born on 2nd October 1869 in Porabandar. Karamchand Gandhi was his father. He was the Diwan of Rajkot state. Putali Bai was his mother. She influenced Gandhi on moral values. After completing his basic education at Porabandar, Gandhiji went to England for law education and completed his bar at law and returned to India. Later, he went to Natal of South Africa to represent Dada Abdullah and Company. Though Gandhi intended to be at Natal only 3 months, he ended up living in South Africa for 20 long years. He opposed the apartheid policy that discriminated between dark-skinned and fair-skinned people. He invented a new tool of protest called Satyagraha and formulated its do's and don'ts. These are all about the early life of Mahatma Gandhiji. Second question. Explain Gandhiji's the initial protests in India. Gandhiji, as per the instruction of his political guru Gokhale, toured entire India in a third-class railway compartment to understand real India of his time. He gave an institutional shape to his struggle by establishing Sabarmati Ashrama at Ahmedabad. He understood the problems of farmers, Dalits, tribal people, workers, laborers, and other sections of Indian society. Gandhi launched the Champaran movement in support of indigo growers and made the British government accept the demands of the farmers. He started a movement in support of the mill workers of Ahmedabad and made the British government to accept his demands. In the same year, another protest held in Kheda village of Gujarat to oppose land taxes also became successful. Gandhi started using truth, non-violence and satyagraha ideals in all these movements, and he also started interacting with common people, making the freedom movement more people-based movement. These are all about Gandhiji's initial protests in India. Third question. Explain Jallianwala Bagh massacre. The British government decided to suppress the agitations against the Rowlatt Act. Gandhiji had called for one-day Hartal on April 6, 1999. Dr. Fakhruddin and Dr. Satyapal and various other leaders were arrested in Punjab. To protest these arrests, the people had assembled in Jallianwala Bagh on April 13, 1999, on the day of Baisakhi festival. The military general of Amritsar, General Dyer, fired at the peacefully assembled the people and killed around 380 protesters. Thousands were injured. This incident saddened people like Gandhi and others. Military rule was implemented in Punjab after this incident. Rabindranath Tagore returned his knighthood award back, opposing this mindless violence. This became the reason for the launch of non-cooperation movement by Gandhi. These are all about Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Fourth one, explain Khilafat movement. The sultans of Turkey were also the religious leaders of Turkey and were called as caliph. During the World War I, the British harassed the caliph, and this was widely protested by Muslims of the world. In India, Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali, two brothers, started the Khilafat movement in support of Turkey. Gandhi had believed that the British would only withdraw if the Hindu and Muslims fight united. Hence, he extended his support to this movement. He wanted an active participation on the part of Muslims in the Congress. This was a movement wherein both Hindus and Muslims participated in nationwide protests. These are all about Khilafat movement. Fifth one, what were the major developments that took place during non-cooperation movement? The major developments that took place during non-cooperation movement were many senior lawyers like Deshabandhu Chittaranjan Das, Motilal Nehru, Rajendra Prasad left their legal practice. Students boycotted schools and colleges. Congress boycotted the elections for regional bodies which were held under the 1919 Act by not naming any candidates for the elections. Many national institutions like Kashi Vidyapita, Gujarat Vidyapita, Bihar Vidyapita and Jamia Millia Islamia Rashtriya Vidyalaya were established. Rabindranath Tagore returned his knighthood. Common people and women donated liberally to the Congress. Shops selling of foreign goods were boycotted and foreign clothes were burnt. The visit of Prince of Wales in 1921 was opposed. These were the major developments that took place during non-cooperation movement. Sixth question, what were the impacts of non-cooperation movement? The impacts of non-cooperation movement were, though many of its main aims remained unachieved, it created some deep impacts. The freedom movement became people's movement. The Congress-led movement took some revolutionary turns. The Hindu-Muslim unity was temporarily achieved. The national freedom movement went beyond the boundaries of cities and entered villages also. The attempts to remove untouchability and entry of women into public spaces were the notable achievements of this movement. These were the impacts of non-cooperation movement. Seventh question, what were the reasons for the beginning of civil disobedience movement? The British government appointed Simon Commission in 1927. The commission witnessed widespread wide protests with the slogans Simon go back. Lala Lajpat Rai died when the protesters were lathi charged in Lahore. The British government asked Indians to draft a constitution that can be acceptable to all political parties and communities of India. This challenge was accepted by a committee headed by Motilal Nehru, and it tabled a report. Even Gandhi, appreciated by a committee headed by Motilal Nehru, and it tabled a report. Later, the Labour Prime Minister of England, Ramsay MacDonald, held talks with the Viceroy and announced that the process of granting dominion status to India would be considered at the earliest. The Lahore Congress Convention adopted a resolution demanding total independence, Purna Swaraj. January 26, 1930 was declared as the Indian independence date. This convention authorized Gandhiji to hold civil disobedience protest marches. These were the reasons for the beginning of civil disobedience movement. Question number 8. Explain the civil disobedience movement. The working committee of the Congress met at Sabarmati Ashram and passed a resolution to hold civil disobedience under the leadership of Gandhiji. Gandhi wrote a letter to the Viceroy putting forward 11 points. In case the government does not accept these demands, the people would stop paying tax and also start civil disobedience movement all over India. As the Viceroy rejected the demands, Gandhiji declared that he would walk with followers up to Dandi on the coast of Gujarat. Gandhi covered 375 kilometers on foot and reached Dandi. He broke the law by holding a fistful salt without paying the tax which the British had levied on salt. Charaka, the spinning wheel, became more famous during this march. Thousands of people participated in the Salt Satyagraha. Leaders like Vijayalakshmi Pandit, Kamala Nehru, Vallabhbhai Patel, Rajagopalachari, Babu Rajendra Prasad, and others were arrested. Slowly, the movement spread to other parts of the country as well. These are all about the civil disobedience movement. Question number 9. Explain Quit India movement. The Strafford Cripps Commission, which was sent by the British government, proposed some suggestions in front of Indians. These proposals were opposed by the Congress and called for Quit India movement. The Quit India movement declared, "British, you quit India." Gandhi gave a call to the fellow Indians to do or die. As a result, leaders like Gandhiji, Nehru, Rajendra Prasad, Abul Kalam Azad, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Acharya Kripalani and Kasturba were arrested and imprisoned. Since most of the Congress leaders were jailed, non-Congress organization took the lead in this movement. These are all about Quit India movement. 10th question. Describe the farmers' protest in India's freedom struggle. During the British administrations, many farmers rebelled against the British planters and zamindars. They opposed the indigo cropping in Champaran district They protested against land tax. Gandhi convinced the British officers through his satyagraha to withdraw tax. The Indian National Congress tried to organize the farmers as a part of national freedom struggle. Gandhiji's influence was visible in activities in Champaran, Kheda and other places where the farmers organized themselves and protested. Farmers of Tebaga, Malabar and other places revolted against the British and Zamindars under the influence of the Congress. Many of the protests were organized under the banner of Kisan Sabha, which was influenced by leftist ideologies. These protests were often in favor of the Congress and many times stood opposed to Congress. In Telangana, farmers protested against the Zamindars and Nizam's Razaks. The farmers of Bengal rose against the Zamindars. In Maharashtra, farmers protested against low wages for them. These are all about the farmers' protests in freedom struggle. Eleventh question. Describe the workers' revolt in India's freedom struggle. Workers' struggle started in Calcutta in 1827. The workers of jute and cotton mills, along with railways, started organizing themselves. Railway workers held protests in railway stations and raised slogans against the British officers. The Printers' Union in Calcutta and Cotton Mill Workers of Bombay created national awareness. A labor union was founded in Madras. Later, many workers' associations started. The Congress supported such initiates from the workers' union. The contributions of workers and their unions are unique. These are all about the workers' revolt in India's freedom struggle. Question number 12. Explain the contributions of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar had believed strongly that political freedom without social freedom is meaningless. Unless the last man in the fold hierarchical social system of Indian society gets social and economic freedom, political freedom is of no value, was his argument. He introduced the concept of India not only as a political entity but a whole system. He studied the caste system and devised strategies to destroy it. He organized Mahad Tank and Kalaram temple movements. He participated in all the three roundtable conferences. He never joined the Indian National Congress and founded Bahishkruta Hitakarani Sabha and later Swatantra Karmika Party. He published periodicals like Prabuddha Bharata, Janata, Mukhanayaka and Bahishkruta Bharata. He always stayed away from the communist and sociological ideologies and strived to get justice for farm laborers. He was elected as the chairman of the drafting committee. He advocated equality in the constitution and provided legal guarantees against untouchability in the constitution. The Constitution of India considered the practice of untouchability as a crime. He became the first law minister of independent India. Though he was inspired by the modernity, rationality, and Western thoughts, he had love for the native roots. Fed up with the caste system, he left Hinduism and became a Buddhist. These are all about the contributions of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Question number 13. Explain the contributions of Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Muhammad Ali Jinnah joined Indian National Congress in 1906. He worked as the private secretary to Dadabhai Naoroji. His popularity grew more after he argued in favor of Tilak in the litigations against him. He joined Home Rule League. In many of the conferences, he argued in favor of Hindu-Muslim unity. He resigned from his membership of Imperial Legislative Council, opposing the implementation of Rowlatt Act. He declared himself as a nationalist Muslim in roundtable conferences. He changed his strategies when Muslim League and Congress failed to form a coalition government in 1937. When the Freedom Declaration was nearer, he increased his pressure for the creation of independent Pakistan. He was successful in creating Pakistan during the Declaration of Independence. These are all about the contributions of Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Question number 14. Describe the partition of India. All along the national freedom struggle, the Indian National Congress had the vision of free, independent, united India. But Muhammad Ali Jinnah kept putting pressure for an independent Pakistan. In the Lahore session of Muslim League, Jinnah declared that Hindus and Muslims cannot make one nation. The Labour Party came to power in England after the end of Second World War. It tried to find solution for the political problems of India. It sent a cabinet mission to have discussion on giving self-rule rights to India. This mission had discussion with Muslim League and Indian National Congress, but their differences over the formation of coalition interim government between Indian National Congress and the Muslim League. The Muslim League called for Direct Action Day. As a result, communal clashes took place in various parts of the country. Muslim League did not participate in the Constituent Assembly. The British were also interested in creating division between Hindus and Muslims. The British government sent Lord Mountbatten as Viceroy to India. Mountbatten held discussions with Gandhiji, Jinnah and other leaders to prepare a plan for the partition of India. In July of 1947, the Bill of India Independence took the shape of an act. On August 15, 1947, two new nations, India and Pakistan, were born. These are all about the partition of India.